Fabulous. Fabulous.
Masters.
Fabulous.
Fabu. You know, I nearly said, yeah. Kofi knows.
But honestly, I thought this pain won't hit me ever again. That pain in 2003 when Kotoko had to lose to WAC of Morocco. When WAC had to leave the trophy right
in front of Futumfo.
And then
they had to did it.
Exactly. I thought I wasn't going to go through such pain again. But you think that 1-0 on the road when everybody thought it was going to be a stroll in the park sort of for Kotoko. That's the most painful loss I've ever had to endure. I must be very honest. How?
I'm very surprised.
Again, to think that the coach, Seydou Zebo, is a Burkinabe who knows this team very well. So yes, when you got that result against them in faraway Benin, we thought, yes, he knows them inside out. And so to have beaten them in Cotonou, the reverse in Kumasi, was just going to be a party time in Kumasi. How did that happen?
I think he's on the bus to Burkina Faso.
I think he should join. No, he should join RC Kadiogo back to Burkina because he's got no business in Kumasi.
Well, I think this is the sort of decisions that we have made, and it's come back to haunt us. I honestly think that we need to look at Ghana football, restructuring everything, because the problems that Kumasi Asante Kotoko are going through, the issues bedeviled with Kumasi Asante Kotoko now. It's just a drop out in the ocean. You look at Kotoko, you look at all of the drama that has surrounded the exit of
Prosper
Ogum. You look at all of the drama between the board and the management committees. You look at all of the politicking. I think that we have gotten to where we are. And you see, in fact, I took time to listen to words coming out from the people on the ground, the Kotoko supporters. They are fed up. They are fed up. I mean, they are fed up because, like Kofi said in his narrative, this was supposed to be a party time. Because, listen, any football fan, your team travels, gets a 90-something minute goal. You expect that you come home with a lot of confidence. You expect that playing at your favorite stadium, you come and then you finish the job. Finish the job in the first half. Give a lot of experience and mileage to some of the younger players on the team. Then we can go on and say that, oh, okay, this is a project you are building. I dare ask myself, what is Kotoko up to?
I've raised the issue of consistency and then continuity. I'm looking at how Prosper Ogum's stay, and if Kotoko were able to keep hold of Ibrahim Moro, Ganiu, and all of those guys that have exited Kotoko, what it would have meant to their cause in the Champions League.
You look at Kumasi Asante Kotoko in this tournament, I think, personally, I knew it was a mission dead on arrival. Because for all of the other teams that have excelled in the CAF Champions League, two things were running. Consistency in the technical team, consistency
in the playing body.
Yeah, that's true.
For Kumasi Asante Kotoko, unfortunately, they didn't have the two. Say what you want to say about the fact that they went to Cotonou to win, but let's be truthful to ourselves. They wouldn't have been able to beat either of Gaborone United or AS Vita if they had gone past Kadiogo. The only luxury they would have had is the fact that they would fall into the CAF Confederations Cup because they had gone to the playoffs. Kotoko didn't have the squad. Zebo was very fortunate. You look at the game in Cotonou, for example. They had a lot of chances. But to some extent, they were not chances that you would bank your hopes on and clear-cut chances. They were probably half chances, a lot of those. But Kumasi Asante Kotoko didn't take full advantage. And whatever happened at Babaya has been documented over the years. 1979, Kadiogo came to Babayara and did what they did earlier today. Kotoko have a history. Whenever they've gone away to do the job, they live in the occasion rather than play the occasion.
I think it's a similar story, except to say, unlike this afternoon where it had to win 3-1 in favor of the Burkina base on penalties. The last time out it was 4-2. But Kotoko had traveled to Burkina to beat them by a 1-0, and then they had to inflict same scoreline on Kotoko at the same venue.
Exactly.
But Kofi, the question that
But
keeps
before you go on, does it speak about the mental fortitude of
I think there's everything to do with that. There's everything to do with that. The question that pops up has to do with Nana Wampons. He had promised winning the Champions League in his first season. In fact, this is his last season. You think?
Let me be blunt.
Okay.
That was
Is it a failure?
Foolish promise. Forgive me, but that was a foolish promise. And he knew deep down that he was never going to attain that vision. Because you do not
So he played to the gallery?
Yes, he played to the gallery, sorry.
Maybe to be fair to him, he could have achieved that if there was a little bit of consistency.
No, but he should have known all of the parameters surrounding the job he was coming to take before he made that decision. Because I don't think that he just got up and made that decision or made that statement. You understand? You analyze, you look at all things considered before you make certain pronouncements. You understand? Forgive me again, but I say this. That was a foolish declaration. Akin to anybody standing on any political platform and doing what they are doing. You understand? I think. Now listen, to a large extent, I will not blame Nanayo Amponsa. Why do I say so? In the past, it used to be teams in the Maghrebian zone coming for our best players. Now, teams in Ethiopia are coming for our prized assets. You understand? What does it speak to the issues on board? Our players are going for as low as $3,000 a month. The best players in this country, Kumasi, Asante, Kotoko, Hearts of Oak, maybe the rest. The best they can do is pay around 3,000 to 5,000. And even with that one, includes signing on bonuses. You understand? If you translate that, that is only $500.
Peanuts.
So if a club in Ethiopia is able to pay $3,000 to a player, obviously the average player has a mileage. The average player has a span. A career span. So the smart choice will be to desert you and move on.
But
the Manchester Derby.
The Manchester Derby. Again, so Olympics are proven to be a boogie side, or they've become a thorn in the flesh of Accra Hearts of Folk. So 5 attempts, Hearts of Folk have never managed to win against the Daddy Boys.
I think it was more or less a victory for Hearts of Folk today as opposed to a draw. In that Samuel Wedu is running on borrowed time. We are well away.
I saw your man in the studio now, in the stadium. I saw the resignation letter.
In that game, if Cornelius Yado had not put the ball at the back of the net.
But he atoned for his earlier sins. I think he gave away a cheap goal.
He had a spot to play.
The goalkeeper was also at fault.
Really?
Eric Kofi.
It was more of Cornelius Yadom's,
But if you look at that sequence of play, it had to begin with the goalkeeper's pass.
Exactly.
It was terrible.
Yes.
You put Konedu Yadom in a fix, and in his bid to also try and clear, he underhit that ball.
But there's been that conversation about if you have 2 goalkeepers who are with or who used to be with a national team, what's the business in bringing Uforienchi? Because you had Atta, who has had stints with the Black Stars last season. There's Richmond Ayi, who is also part of the under 23 team. So what's the business? What was the idea behind bringing in Alawa Uforienchi?
I was going to go there by saying Buedu, even though he's running on borrowed time, I think one of the things that would go against him is the fact that he's the architect of his own downfall.
I agree.
He's sort of playing to loyalty as opposed to competence and form. Because make no mistake, Richard Atta is an excellent goalkeeper. He might have his own minuses about his inability to play out from the back or something, but he's a good goalkeeper. When it comes to the primary duty of keeping out the balls, he does it excellently.
He was the goalkeeper when Hearts of Oak had to win the FA Cup.
He was the foundation for which Hearts of Oak went on to achieve whatever Boedu did. And then you turn around after injuries and a drop in form. Yes, when they went to Africa, to some extent, some of the goals he conceded were poor, but it didn't mean that you closed the door on him.
I don't think you could have pointed out all of those mistakes down on the goalkeeper. I think that's bad man management.
And I think he's not doing enough to make everybody, because once you put Alawa in there, it sends signals. Richard Atta is more or less second choice. Ayi is now third choice.
He's third on the pecking order.
He's third on the pecking order now. You look at that defense. Samuel Inkum last season came in because he was doing what Abdul Fattah Mohamed was not doing, which was adding more bite attacking-wise. But this season, Samuel Inkum is not the Samuel Inkum we saw last season.
Poor.
So if Fattah was out because he was poor, and Inkum is come back to what Fattah was teaching.
And then Fattah has a lot of energy about him.
Yeah.
Why not throw that competition? Why not open up that gap? Because today, for what reason did he play Daniel Cordier? The guy
Especially when he's had to sit out for close to 2 years, yeah.
For what reason? You look at all of this, then it would go on to satisfy the critics who say he's not a coach, but he's a ways and means man. Because if tactically you are not up there,
David.
No. But because anybody who is tactically up there,
what has that got to do with ways and means?
Where do you receive certification for ways and means?
That's interesting. David. But you need to explain to us what you mean by he's a ways and means manager.
Sure, I could explain. But you see, if he's a man who really understands the game, you don't put certain players in the deep. You don't throw a player who's been out for 2 weeks in a very competitive game. Abdul Razak Yusuf, he's had a field day with Accra Asanteman. In the last 4 games, he scored 4 goals against them. And that's because he's really doing something. You look at Olympics, there's got a lot of energy. You don't expect Daniel Cordier, who's been out for 2 years, to compete with Razak Kasim. There was no way.
He'll bully him. Yeah.
Kasim is in probably the best form of his life. So all of these things, you then want that Samuel Boydu. Because in as much as you might want to hold brief for him, he's a man that brought a lot of luxury to Hartlepool. He's also on doing the very good work he did by himself.
I agree.
And
his future prior to the game was up in the air. So
it's still up in the air because next week I think Kumasi has to Kotoko.
Yeah, his future was up in the air before they played the Accra Great Olympics. I'm looking at his fate now. You think they'll still keep that faith in him, or time now for him to exit?
Well, I think Kotoko might want to go for a vengeance because
he said Yao had his letter.
Yes, I mean now was flashing the letter, but I think that next week in Kumasi Asante Kotoko might want to appease their teaming supporters because of this particular.
You want to appease your supporters with what? Beating Hartlepool in Kumasi, who are also wounded.
If you are able to beat Hartlepool 5-0,
they will pacify their fans.
Hypothetically, all of the sins go away.
Beating Hartlepool by
4-0.
That's not happening.
3-0.
That can't happen.
All of the sins go away.
It's never happening.
And I think that will be great mileage for Kumasi Asante Kotoko if they can go away.
No way to go married in Kumasi.
So then go take our money more money.
you probably get a second letter in Kumasi as well.
I've never seen you being in this form of mischievous mood. I've never seen you like
it's
this.
Red
before.
Mango. Everything is possible here.
Anyway. But it's been a very sad Sunday for me, I must say. Very sad Sunday.
Sad Sunday.
Fabulous.
Yeah.
So guys, subscribe to Sports 101, and whenever you're coming for a vacation in Takoradi, the Western region, make sure to choose Red Mango.